Thank you for being here.
Just a few little chicken scratches. Sorry, didn't mess up. Okay, Ms. Saunders. I could not have asked for a more perfect teacher coming into ninth grade. You, more than anyone else, made me feel confident in the big, bad, scary high school. Your enthusiasm for teaching and seemingly unbreakable good mood made all the frightened ninth graders feel welcome. I know in ninth grade I may have pushed too hard to be perfect. Thank you for putting up with me then and teaching me to relax a little. At the end of ninth grade, I knew I would miss being part of your class, but 3 years later, I am lucky enough to have you again. I am so fortunate to have had you in the beginning and now in the end. I believe I've made great strides in writing through your teaching. Thank you for being so wonderful to everyone and for teaching me so much.
Mr. Kennedy, I had heard horror stories coming into 10th grade about AP U.S. history. I had predetermined that the class would probably spell my doom. However, what I found was nothing like that. While I admit I had more work than ever before, your high expectations and complete confidence in me made me push to succeed. Your enthusiasm for the class got me excited to learn. While I had always associated history with heavy old books and boredom, I grew to love it. In fact, I'm hoping to pursue a major in history in college. Thank you for inspiring me to push my academic limits and for opening my mind to a subject I now love.
Ms. Lotz. The first day of 10th grade, I sprinted into your class 10 minutes late. You then walked over to the phone and picked it up and said, "Hello, Mrs. Ladner. You'll never guess who just waltzed into my class." I am sorry to say that that was not the last time you had to use that phone that apparently connects directly to my mother. Your 10th grade English class was by far the most fun I've ever had in high school. Thank you for putting up with all of the horsing around. Okay, sorry. The time I built a fort under the shelves above my desk, and the time Charlie, Duck, and I bid on a submarine from eBay on your computer. Sorry, I'm just reading what he wrote. I don't know how, but every time I'm goofing off or causing some sort of trouble, you just seem to show up. But more than that, thank you for being such a fantastic teacher. You made the literature amazing, and for the first time in my whole life, I enjoyed reading. You were able to make each book interesting, even the dreaded Ethan Frome. I loved every minute of your class in 10th grade, and every visit I paid you and your class since then. Thank you for your amazing teaching, for every chat in the hallway, and for keeping my mother informed of all my troublemaking in the last 3 years.
Wow, Peter did a good job. I don't know if I can follow that. But first off, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Bolig. Mrs. Bolig introduced me to the Minnetonka High School system. She taught me not only in kindergarten, but in 2nd grade as well. Every day in her class was just a really good time, a lot of fun. She made me want to come to school every day with things like actually eating green eggs and ham, or playing the Who Has the Most Pockets Today game. That was fun. She also taught me some pretty crucial life skills that I still use today, like learning how to decipher the weather page on the back of the newspaper. That was big. I still do it daily, actually. And I have this really strange memory in 2nd grade of her teaching us how to find Italy on a map, and that it looked like a boot. I could never find the boot. I kept looking at Africa, and if you look at it sideways, it looks like a big boot. I figured it out eventually, but Mrs. Bolig, you were an amazing teacher, and your efforts and how you taught me in kindergarten and 2nd grade gave me an excellent foundation to build my academic career on, and I thank you a lot. Secondly, I'd like to recognize Mrs. Saunders. What I have to say is pretty similar to what Peter had to say. But Mrs. Saunders taught me the 5-paragraph essay, which is huge. That gets me through just about everything when I don't really want to write something where I have to think. Thank you for that. And she still teaches me today in advanced composition, which I love. She introduced me to a lot of books that I now consider favorites, and I've read many times, like Julius Caesar or Oedipus. Those are great. But the biggest thing, just like Peter said, was the way she introduced me to 9th grade in the high school. She was always smiling, always happy and encouraging. She was the first teacher I ran into in high school that I felt like I could talk to as a friend or outside of class and be comfortable around. And your 9th grade class made my high school transition easy and wonderful, so thank you. And finally, I'd like to recognize Mr. Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy taught me in my first advanced placement class, U.S. History. In his class, I learned for the first time how to actually read and remember what I read. His test pushed me to do that, and I also learned how to write other than about books, which was huge. I can actually write what I think now. But my favorite part of Kennedy's class was the way he made history fun and funny, always. I don't even know how to describe what went on in that room in 3rd hour. He filled every day with information, but somehow he mixed it with this crazy sense of humor he has. William Jennings Bryan became a favorite, and just trying to keep up with how hard he pushed us led me to learn new ways to study, and I found a favorite, which is drawing comic books of what I'm learning. I don't know if he remembers, but the mural I drew on the whiteboard definitely got me the 5 on the AP test. So thank you, Mr. Kennedy.
So now I have to follow Eric, who is also really good. First of all, I would just like to thank all the teachers because I've been so lucky to have been taught by so many of you. And thank you for that, all of you. And the first teacher that I wanted to recognize couldn't be here tonight. Miss Tweet taught me in 5th grade. And she was really the first teacher who made me believe that I could be one of the smart kids. And the thing that stands out most in my memory from that year is spelling tests. Because we would take the pre-test every week, and then when I would get all the words right on it, she would have bonus rounds, and then bonus rounds, and bonus rounds just for me. So that was a lot of fun, and it really made me believe in myself, and she encouraged me to win the spelling bee that year. So I don't know, that was a highlight for me, and she really was just really enthusiastic about teaching, and made me feel a lot more powerful, I think, as a female student. And secondly, I would like to recognize Mr. Lewis. I really don't even know what to say about Mr. Lewis. He was my advisor 6th through 8th grade at Minnetonka West. And he taught me math 7th and 8th grade. And every summer he took me on a trip either to the Boundary Waters or Wyoming backpacking. So I've spent a lot of time with him. He's put a lot of time into my development as a person, I think. And so the thing about Mr. Lewis, I think, that I appreciate most is that he put so much time into me and just really helped me to trust adults a lot more. He showed me that teachers are actually interested in my future by staying in contact with me and continuing to put up with all of our trips that we kind of force you to go on. Yeah, he's taught me like a lot about, obviously, math. He taught me algebra for 2 years. And in addition to that, he's taught me so many survival skills in the wilderness and just like instilled in me a love for nature. And I think it's a lot of fun going on trips with him, and I'll continue to do so for the rest of my life. And thirdly, I'd like to recognize Profe Miles.